your host for today. Listen, today's show is going to be so much fun with so much education and information. You're going to learn about creativity and so many other things that you need, and I'm sure that you're going to have a great time with me right here on the show. So don't go anywhere because we'll be right back for more on Kids and Mom. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the parent-teacher relationships. Now moms, I really need you to watch this and listen because I'm sure you have questions that would be answered here today. Now I have with me a seasoned educator, an award-winning teacher, and she's just all plain awesome. Her name is Joy Chika Olalere. She's a graduate of Educational Management from the Taisholari University of Education, an accomplished primary school teacher with more than 7 years of teaching experience and outstanding classroom management skills. She is a trainer, an award winner with a genuine passion for helping children of all abilities reach their full potentials. She is a specialist in ensuring open communication with parents and administrators regarding students' growth and well-being. Are you ready? I am. Chika, you are welcome to Kids and Mom.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being
so
here.
Nice.
Thank you.
All right, so you know what? Let's just go right into it. What is a parent-teacher relationship?
Parent-teacher relationship is the coexistent relationship that should be existing between a mother or a father and the educator of their child. Okay. And it's very, very, very vital because a teacher cannot successfully handle a child alone without the involvement of a parent. And at the same time, the parents also need the educator because most of the day period is being spent in school, okay, and their child is being left at the care of another person. Okay. So the relationship that exists between the both of them is a very, very important one. If it is being well nurtured, it will actually help the child get better because there will be no lackadaisical conduct in school. There will also be no lackadaisical conduct at home. And then what do you have? An excellent child with a good behavior and a future that is very, very promising.
Okay, so I know that you talked about the importance of having this relationship, but how about how parents can build the relationships with the teachers? And vice versa. So what is the process of building a very successful relationship with the teacher and how the teacher can build a successful relationship with the parent? Okay,
I'll start with the teacher angle. For an educator to maintain or build a good relationship with the parents of a child, one thing you should have in mind is that you cannot work on the child alone because that child definitely sprang out from a particular family. So one of the things that a teacher can do is that once the child comes into your class at the beginning of a new year, as much as possible, get the contact of the parents. Call them just to say hello. Okay. The reason you're calling a particular parent shouldn't just be whenever you want to report negative characters or conduct. There should be other times where you just call to say hello to the entire family. So that is actually a good one because when parents have the view about you that she calls generally, it will give them these warm expectations of you that, wow, no matter what she's saying or whatever my child has done, she's always there to report back to us. So, and at the same time also, looking at it from the angle of the parent to the teacher, parents should see their child's teacher as a partner. Okay. If the only time you get to communicate with your child's parents is just whenever you see each other in school, okay, you are strangers, you are not partners. Okay. But when you see yourself as partner, definitely partners communicate over and over again at consistent basis. So there should be this open communication between the both of them with maturity and genuineness towards helping the child get better.
In a place where the parents do not feel the need to have a relationship with the parent because they feel that the school should be equipped enough to handle whatever might be going wrong with their child. Okay. Yes.
Well, the educator will have to be the one that will help the parents see reasons. Okay. Why I need you as this child's parents to work alongside with me. Okay. Sometimes they might feel that, okay, we've paid the child's tuition, we've gotten an home tutor for the child, we're giving the child everything the child wants. So what else? It is expected of you to just come out successfully. Of course it is expected, but at the same time, the educator will have to be the one that will take extra effort this time around to make the parents understand that aside the fact that you're giving this child everything this child needs, I also need you to give me feedback from home. So that is the reason I need you to work alongside with me for us to achieve the better results that we can achieve together if we work together as partners and a team. So the educator and at the same time the school management can help parents see reasons why they need to be involved with their child's success.
Now, what is the importance of this relationship between the parent and the teacher to the child in question?
Okay, one of the things that will help the child is that when the both parties are involved, when there is good communication between the educator, the school management, and the parents, one of the things that will happen is that you will notice that the child will clash minimally.
Okay.
Before a child will come to the lowest minimum that you can ever imagine, there will be feedbacks, there will be easy communication that I'm noticing a decline in this particular child. I noticed that this pupil is reducing in this particular aspect, which is a positive aspect that we need to work on. Okay. But if that is in place, it will be easier for the both parties involved to work together. Another thing is that naughty characters, not doing assignments, for example, misplacing things, bullying people in school, there will be no need for all that, because when I know if you're doing this, you know definitely I'm going to make your parents aware of it. So that is enough to just stop that child from misbehaving in those aspects. So definitely there should be good relationship, very open relationship between the educators and the parents.
Now, I know you said a lot of things about the importance of this. I know you said a lot of things about how effective it is to the child, and I know you said sometimes you just pick up the phone to call the parents, but what other ways can the teacher, and the parents strengthen these relationships between themselves?
We can deliberately choose to set up dates for ourselves.
Okay.
I could choose to visit you at home visitations.
Okay.
Sending notes home.
Okay.
But like I said earlier, that the only time an educator is calling a particular family shouldn't be just to report negative characters.
Okay.
As much as possible, when I have interest in a particular child, I could just pick my phone generally to call the family that I just want to speak to him. So by the time I'm calling to report any naughty character, I'm reporting that naughty character and not the child. So we need to strike that balance, because most people normally report that this child is doing this, but the focus should be, parents should be able to trust you that your partners are alongside with them and not an adversary. So one way or the other, there should be open communication through phone calls, home visitations. We could actually set up a picnic and the family invites the educator just because you want that good relationship to be there.
You want that open channel of
yes. Mails can also be sent also.
Okay.
Yes, mails can also be sent also.
Okay. Drop your comments and questions on our Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. So, how important is it for parents to ask questions? And sometimes parents don't know the right questions to ask. So this is a two-way question. Number one, how important is it for parents to ask questions about the welfare of their children in school? And how can the teacher help them to ask the right questions if they are not asking the right questions?
Parents need to ask questions. You just have to ask questions on the aspects that you're not clear on. Okay. And there are some, like you said earlier, that some parents don't know the right questions to ask.
Yeah.
One of the major questions you could ask is a social question like, how well is my child relating with other pupils? Okay. Because no matter how sound academically a child is, the way the child interacts with other pupils also matters a lot, because aside the fact that we are building or we are helping a child get better academically also, we also want to raise a child that is sane in the society. Okay. So as much as possible, ask questions like, how well is my child relating with other pupils? Okay. Another question you could ask is this child working at the peak he or she can work at the moment?
Or can my child, or could my child be doing
better than
right now?
Yes, than what he or she is doing at the moment?
Okay.
So questions like that can be asked. Another question that parents can also ask the educator is, what way do you need me?
That's right.
To work alongside with you to help this child get better?
Yes.
It's a very good question, because it will help the educator to really pour out a lot of things that at some point I noticed this, at some point I noticed this. It will even help the parents also to be able to flow better with the educator, because you're proving to me that you're very open.
Okay.
Imagine me asking you that, how do you need me to help this child? Because I'm just proving to you that I don't know what to do, but I need you to work alongside with me. Right. So it's a lot easier for the educator to, at the same time, help the parents also, for them to work hand in hand together. Then you said something else. You said that how can educators help parents ask the right questions? Well, basically, educators can help parents ask the right questions by just maintaining openness with them. Okay. When I know I can ask, there is this saying that there is no foolish question. Yes. So if I'm very open to you and you see me as like, okay, I can ask her anything, it will be easy for you to ask me anything you want to ask me. True. So that way our relationship can get better, and the results that we are looking at, and that result is the child. Okay. Yes, the result that we are trying to fix up can get better magnified. Okay.
So let me ask you this very technical, very sensitive question. In a case where maybe there's a bit of abuse in the house, and
do you mean domestic abuse or sexual abuse?
It could be any let's use the word abuse. Okay. In a case where there's abuse in the house, and the child is unable to say anything, and maybe the party that is being abused among the parents is unable to say anything, but you know that this is happening, and you know that it is affecting the performance of the child. How, as a teacher, being a third party, can you help the situation, and how can you influence the situation?
In my career, it has happened twice so far. And one of the major things I did was I drew the child very close to me. I made sure the child understand the fact that no matter what you tell me, you're very safe for me.
So like you made yourself a safe room?
Yes. So whenever anything happens, it is a lot easier for her or him to tell me whatever she wants to tell me. Okay. And then what I do is, because I might not be able to work directly to the parents, because definitely they will want to hide it because it's a family matter. I just report to my direct boss. Okay. So by doing that, she can call them because she is in a better position to address matters like that. So educators, as much as possible, whenever there is any situation or cause that seems like you might not be able to handle it, a trusted person in that field who the parents can open up to can help. And it really helped then. It really helped. Though initially they were reluctant, but after some time they melted and they were like, oh, they are so sorry. And we also made them understand the fact that it was affecting the child's well-being, because psychologically he or she would just get lost in the middle of the class lessons and whatever is being done in class.
Now, most of the time, we talk about the good. We don't talk about the bad things, in a parent-teacher relationship. What do you think a parent should do when the child is troubled and you as a teacher are equipped? In school you know what to do, but what kind of advice or what kind of skill would you be able to pass across to the parents to be able to handle that child from the home front?
That is, if the child is
troubled.
Okay, I will make the parents understand what I have noticed about the child. Okay. This is the method I try in the class that works for me. Try it. Then he or she could come back to give me feedbacks. But it will only work for her if that child trusts her as much as she trusts me. But it is expected that, I said, that a child should trust even the parents more. But there are some situations that happen in the house that makes some children to just throw themselves out to outsiders that they trust. So one of the things I'll do is, I also make the parents understand that he or she needs to give the child some time. Yeah. It might be that the child keeps saying the same thing over and over again that just crushes the trust that he or she has for the parents at all times. So you need to give the child enough time for the child to assimilate the fact that I think mom or dad is actually genuinely showing these expressions of love. I think mom or dad actually wants me to get better in this particular aspect of my life. So, and as much as possible also, whatever the child has told me, I won't want the parents to know in clarity. I might tell them in parts so that the child can still see me, because we have different ability to contain informations, and outburst of emotion sometimes might happen at home that the parents might be like, you went to the school and you told your teacher this, don't you know it's private? Children don't know some things are private.
Exactly.
It depends on the kind of person that they are. Some will tell you things, some won't tell you anything. So it all depends on how the nature of that particular child. So as much as possible, make the parents understand this is the method I've been using in the classroom and it has been so effective. Then let's see how it goes from then. Continuous feedback also. As you're trying to do this, you got probably initially the child just locked out and didn't say anything or didn't react in any way. The more we try to do it, the better we get at it.
Would you advise parents to go for seminars on child raising, to go for trainings, and maybe to go for team activities that will probably help them to learn how to better communicate with their children?
It is very important.
Okay.
Now things are changing now. Back then, parents might just tell you that they have their own style of parenting, and then they'll just stick to it. And sometimes the child might turn out right. But now things are changing. Yes. So we keep learning every time. So I will really advise that if there are any platform around that the parents can learn from, please go ahead, feel free. Even if it is in the child's school, when there are social gatherings, you might just put yourself in the place as a volunteer. So that people will see, and the child will also see that mommy is actually involved or dad is involved and things like that. But it is really, really necessary. You can't stick to the method that you've known. Parenting is something that it's a continuous process. You just keep learning every time, What your child did today might not be what he will do tomorrow. Yeah. So you keep learning every time, because sometimes even those children, they do not understand themselves in their entirety. Yeah, so they keep learning over and over again. So I would really advise my parents should.
So what other advice do you have for parents, in not just in dealing with the children, but in maintaining a very successful relationship with the teachers? Okay.
Parents should not compare one teacher to another teacher.
Aha.
Because there are times that a parent will say, my child's educator in the formal class was so different. She does this. This was good of her. We liked her for this. And the other teacher might actually have our own. We are all different. We have our own style, a different style entirely that will also suit you. But because you're not patient enough to notice. So don't compare teachers with teachers. And at the same time also, if you have any problem with your child's educator, look for polite ways to tell them.
And not be abusive.
And not be abusive about it.
Okay.
So those two are my basic advice for parents.
You know what? You're a fantastic educator. I'm just looking at you, loving what you're saying, loving how you're saying it, and loving the wealth of experience that you have.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. I totally learned something, and I'm sure the moms and dads today learned something as well.
Yeah.
Drop your comments and questions on our Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter and on Instagram.
Hi, my name is Omomi Olunloyo. Welcome to the Kids Care segment. Today I'll be sharing with you 6 tips to make you the best mom ever to your child. Number 1, who are you? As a mom, you need to know who you are, because when you know who you are, it helps you to be able to be a better mom to your child. Who you are is kind of like a cliche kind of sentence. When people say, who are you? Say, my name is Omomi. But actually, there's more to Omomi. Omomi is different. Omomi is unique. Omomi is special. And in that respect, you need to do that with your child as well. You need to see your child as different, as special, as unique. Try not to compare your child with anyone, because like I said, your child is different. Even the twins who are born on the same day, they are different in terms of the way they carry themselves, in terms of the way they behave. So knowing that will help you to be a better mom to your child. You need to know your child's ability. What are they good at? What sport What activities, what things do they do that they shine? You know, you help them, you encourage them to be that person that they are born to be. And knowing who you are will help you to do that with your child. It's also important to instill discipline. When you are disciplined in terms of what you do, in terms of waking up in the morning, how you eat, you understand your feeding pattern, what you wear, homework duties, for example. Your child comes back from school. What is the first thing they do when they come back? Do they wash their hands? Do they have lunch? You know, do they remove their clothes? Do they fold their clothes neatly? All this will help in terms of instilling discipline to your child. Who you are is a very key factor, because who you are will help you to be the best you can be the best version of yourself. And what is the best version of yourself? That is who you've been created to be. And who have you been created to be? How do you know that? You look at yourself and you think to yourself, what do I do? What can I do? What can I offer? Knowing all of that will help you to be able to instill that to your child. It will be able to help you to become the best mom you can be for your child. The last tip will be to let your child express themselves. So I'll tell you how that can happen. So your child watches a movie, for example, and does not understand what they're watching, and they're asking you questions. Give them the opportunity, give them the audience, listen to what they have to say. Or perhaps they saw something, or they read something, or perhaps they're even angry at that point in time. Give them the opportunity to express themselves, because doing this will let you and the child know who they are. So just to recap my 4 tips on who you are as a mom that will help you be the best mom ever to your child. Number 1, know that your child is different, unique, and special. Number 2, do not compare your child with any other child. Number 3, know that your child is not in competition with anyone else. And lastly, give your child the opportunity to express themselves so that they can be the best version of themselves. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Today was fantastic. We learned some awesome tips that we probably would never know if you didn't watch Kids&Mum show. Are you not glad you watched it? I'm glad you watched it with me. Alright, so thank you so much for joining us today. You know, the Kids&Mum show is a platform where we help kids, and especially their moms and dads, to have fantastic relationships and build the next generation of leaders that our nation needs. So join me again next week, same station, same time, for another awesome episode of Kids&Mum. I'll see you then.